Hello and welcome to day 2 of the tournament that I started yesterday. Today we'll be looking at one of my games from my set against Requar, which this set was for whoever would get 3rd place in the tournament because both of us had lost in semifinals. So this was to get 3rd place, and by getting 3rd place, one of us would also qualify for the major upcoming. So it was still a very important match, even though both of us were technically not in it to win anymore. So he was on Danger Pack, another evil Danger Pack player. All these people keep turning to it. But I love Requar. He's a GOAT. Love that man. And we get a nice double ant duck start. Ants are really good into pack 6 just because you want the tempo. And I like ducks because snail is really good right now. And so getting the duck HP and then the snail buff stats is really helpful on the early turns as well. And we end up winning because our ant hits our front ant. Very lucky there. And now we're just going to look for more ants, more ducks, try and win the round 2. Bang, we get 2 more ants. And because I want to win the round, I'm also just going to end on pigeon. This gives me the best odds to win, and I'd rather win than draw or try to look for more like ducks or something. And because we buy the pigeon, we do win. Our pigeon gets huge and trades through the back line. Now let's take our triple. I didn't take my triple right away. This is an important thing to think about when you're going duck. You don't want to triple right away on turn 3 unless you have tier 2s in shop that you also want to sell your duck on. If you look at my start of the turn, I have 2 beavers and a hedgehog in shop. Not really great duck targets. So I roll again. Again, not good duck targets. And I roll a 3rd time. And this was the last time that I technically could roll if I wanted it to be gold efficient. And I roll into swan and peacock, which are both really good duck targets. So I take my triple. And I get giraffe and dog. Normally here I would go dog. I'm a big advocate of dog into danger. I think it's the best tier 3 into danger. You play super heavy tempo and you get big, like temporary stats. And instead I decide I'm already kind of big with this ant. I'm going to buy this other ant too and hopefully go level 3. And so I decide to buy the giraffe. And then I also buy this peacock and I decide this one's pretty slow. So I'm just going to stack an ant. And I decide to stack it on my smaller ant rather than my bigger ant because I think it's more tempo rather than having a 2-2 and a 5-5. I think it's better to have a 4-4 and a 3-4. I think it's slightly better into his board. But I could be wrong. Who knows? And then he gets a, what is this? Takushi, which kind of feeds my peacock. But I'm not quite big enough to get through the Malay tapir in the back. And so, bang, there's that snail I was talking about. We're obviously going to take that snail. And then we're also just going to keep making our ant big. Oh, I guess I don't buy him yet. I'm rolling for more snails here, really. And another ant is ideal. And so we get an ant. I'd rather roll to try and get another ant than buy the apple, because stacking an ant is still an apple's worth of stats and gets me the level. And I also was looking for peacock and snails, so that's a lot to roll for. And I'd much rather have levels for turn 5 into pack 6 because it's maximum tempo. You really want those early good tier 4s. You want turtle, you want deer, you want skunk. And in this situation, I want bison. During this game, I was in call with Requar. We were just kind of bantering. And immediately here, I believe I called out, I'm going for bison, baby. And so we'll see if we get it next turn. I don't know what happens. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. And here, positioning 2 into African wild dogs, along with kangaroo being kind of a counter to it. You can also peacock it. My peacock didn't have enough HP to survive. But if it did, because the African wild dogs would trigger its ability and the peacock would survive, I would get a lot of attack on my peacock. This turn, also not quite big enough to make it through the tapir, but that's okay, because guess what? We hit fucking bison, baby! So I take the bison. Big brown guy is coming in. And then I decide to garlic my ant as well. Normally, I don't think garlic is very good. I would say roll for kicks, usually, is what I'd want to do. But I'm on 4 lives. And his board is very, very low attack. So I think, okay, garlic, I can just hit a bunch of times, get through his whole board because his attack isn't very high. So I decided garlic and just end on a salad. The reason I'm salading is because I'm not really looking for much. One, the only thing I'm really looking forward is cake and giraffe. Like, I would buy cake now because I feel like I'm going to even out in tempo, but I'd rather just be consistent, buy the salad, get some stats on board because I'm not looking for much, only 2 things. This tends to happen a lot when you only have like a small tier 3 scaler or no tier 3s at all on turn 5 and 6. You end up not really like looking for much, so you just buy the foods and shop. Here, my bison trades perfectly. Bang, and the ant hits the giraffe, allowing me to take the win. Very lucky ant hit there, otherwise I would have drawn. There's a cake. Bang, I decided to take it on my giraffe. I kind of evened out on tempo, so I'm willing the cake now. And I decided to sell the snail so that I can salad. Best hits. And I just end on a swan to give me more gold next turn. I was pretty confident that I could win this turn, even with buying a swan over like the Oxford tempo. But as you'll see, I'm just 1 HP shy from getting through there, and I end up losing the turn because of that. But now I'm going to look for bread, bison level, turtles. Here we go, there's a turtle. But something I need to be aware of is this humphead wrasse. It's already 1.5. So it's removing 30% of my attack right now, but soon it'll be removing 60, which is very, very oppressive and hard to maneuver around. And so I'm happy in this situation that I'm going 2 big guys. I have my ant and my bison. I like doing this into pack 6, going 2 separate big guys for 2 reasons. 1, into humphead wrasse, it's so that only one of them gets targeted and you still have a big guy to lean on. And 2, because of Kakapo, arguably the most oppressive unit in the game right now, which will move my highest attack friend to the back. But if I'm buffing 2 guys, I'll have 2 really high attack friends, so hopefully the other one can clean through the board, given that the Kakapo is only level 1. So that's why I like buffing 2 things. That's why I thought the bison was really good in this situation. I get a pill, perfect pill, onto my bison. I'm going to buy this other turtle. It'll go on my ant in battle. Just kind of do some repositioning here, thinking I'm going to freeze my pair for next turn. Just because I'm also not really looking for levels, like just bison. So I'll buy the stat foods. Here, not quite big enough to make it through yet. And it's getting a little scary. I'm only on 2 HP. I'm not getting through anymore. I have to try and win these turns if I want a chance now. Decide to pair my bison. I'm going to pair it again. Actually, I pair my ant. The reason I paired my ant over my bison was to play around wrasse. It is level 2 now, so it's minusing a lot of attack. So I can still throw my bison, and it'll be big. I get a skunk. I'm going to freeze the skunk because this guy has a lot of HP. He's getting +6 more in battle too because of this African wild dog. So this is a 20 HP unit. So skunk into anything like 20 plus HP, especially on like these early turns, are pretty good. Bang. And we barely make it through because my ant gives my giraffe enough attack to kill the tapir. Really strong. We're going to pill onto my ant. Bring in both of these skunks. Roll. Just looking for my skunk level, really. I freeze bison and chocolate here because I thought maybe I'd go level 2 bison And I even rolled into another skunk, so I didn't have to decide between going level 2 skunk and level 2 bison. And so it'll depend on this turn what happens here if I go level 2 bison or not. And I'll explain why. Here, I actually won a 50-50. So the Humphead Wrasse hits my bison instead of hitting my ant. Because of that, my ant is going to be able to trade through most of his board, and then the bison can clean up the back line. So I got pretty lucky there, I will admit. So now, because I won the turn, I may go level 2 bison, but first I want to look at my skunk level because that level I'm taking no matter what. And it's into snake and fly. Into his board, I think snake is extremely strong. He only has 1 high HP unit and is getting skunked anyway, so it's not going to be high HP. And also with Humphead Wrasse, he's giving me low attack, and so I'd rather lean on abilities for damage, and snake is a good ability damage. So I decide that snake and chocolating it is more important than getting level 2 bison. Because no matter what, even if I go level 2 bison, it's going to get hit by this Humphead. It's going to be small attack-wise, and so I'd rather try and get this snake level 2 and have better in-battle abilities that do damage rather than relying on stats to do damage since my stats are getting minused. And here, perfect, we roll into another chocolate. We're going to get that level 2 snake next turn. Here, he gets level 3 Humphead, making my bison go from 21 to 2 attack, which is insane. Luckily with my snake, oh, we're actually not going to get through. Wow, so yeah, I'm on 1 HP, really, really scary. Luckily, I do have the giraffe gold, so I can sell that for 6. Here, Tiger Snake no longer is good, especially when your snake is level 2. Because then your tiger will waste the snake's ability on it being a level 1 repeated ability instead of the level 2 snake itself because snake only has 5 triggers now. So tiger will take up that trigger and make it trigger only as a level 1. Now, it still might have been fine here. Probably was fine because I'm never actually going to get 5 triggers out of my snake with just the level 3 ant in front of it. But I decided I want to look for something better. And the main thing I'm looking here, and the reason I'm freezing mushroom, is because I want mammoth. The reason mammoth is so good here is because it kind of counters the Humphead Wrasse in a way. So it'll minus my bison's attack, but then I'll get the procs from mammoth, giving most of my attack back, making the bison an actually useful unit and having hopefully more attack than just 2 attack. Honestly, at least having 5 or 6 attack will make the bison useful compared to having only 2. So that's why the reason I'm freezing mushroom. I'm also freezing mushroom because I'm deciding whether I want to put it on snake because I want to try and protect from snow leopard as well. Here I decide that the stake is really, really good on my skunk. So I stake skunk and I look for the mammoth. I don't get it to have enough gold to mushroom it as well, but I do get it on 4 gold. I can buy it, but I won't have enough to mushroom it yet, which is fine. And then I decided to go with this positioning because I'm trying to play around the terrapin. So the terrapin's going to go off and give the guy behind okra. And my bison is probably going to have enough HP to hit into the ARP multiple times and break its okra. So then my skunk can then trade with the stake in it. And my ant and level 2 snake can clean up the back line. That was my goal with this positioning. We'll see if it works out. Bang. It does work out. I get really lucky with snake snipes there, and I'm able to win the turn, break all the melons with my snake. Really nice. I mushroom my mammoth. I mushroom my snake to protect it, and I'll just end on a chocolate on mammoth. Didn't really do much, but in case we draw, it's good to have that potential level for next turn because it is lethal to be lethal. And then with this positioning, I decide to switch it up. No matter what, I'm probably only ever going to get 2 triggers out of my snake if I want to front it. And I do want to front it, reason being, I want to kill the sea turtle as early as possible so that he's not able to give melons. So usually you want your snake to be second. Almost always, I'd say you want your snake to be second in most situations just because you want your snipes as early as possible. And also because his Terrapin is not very attack heavy. So I want to try and take advantage of that and get multiple triggers with my Mammoth. I end up not because he stakes the Terrapin, but that's fine. My snake goes off, and it kills the sea turtle. Huge. And I break the Okra with the 1-up. The ant cleans up the rest, and I take the W. I end up winning this whole set 4-1 and getting 3rd place in the tournament, which means I do qualify for the major at the end of this tournament cycle. So I will have games on that when it comes around, which will probably be like at the end of next month. So still a while, but that is something to look forward to. GG's to Rekwar, and I'll see you guys in the next one.